So now we're going to go into the next group of things with the Toriano group family. Okay, so we're in world 1, shoulders forward, right? Family one was Toriano grips, right? Family 2 is collar and leg. So we're still in family 1 with Toriano grips. But what did I explain to you the pro of the Toriano grips? So lay down, please. Remember what I explained to you? When the opponent has Toriano grips, the pros are I'm able to remove the De La Riva hook and this leg, right? So I have the option of removing the De La Riva hook here, okay? And why is this important? Because remember how I explained to you how we have all these different frames to build our fort in De La Riva, right? And I was explaining all the different ways I can remove this frame. So now we're going to learn all the different ways I can remove this frame to weaken the fort because I have the Toriano grip. Okay, so if I was holding the collar grip, I wouldn't be able to do this to remove the De La Riva hook. So that is why this is so important to understand that when the person has the Toriano grips, they're able to remove our De La Riva hook using their hand on our leg. You see, so this is so important for us to understand, and we just went over every possible way the opponent could grab my back leg, right? They could grab the gi. They could get inside elbow control. They could control my ankle. They could get their palm inside my ankle. So now we're going to learn when my opponent takes away my De La Riva hook, how I'm going to use my frames not only to get back my guard, but to manipulate her arms again in a way to bring her weight off balance. And what do I mean by off balance in De La Riva? I mean, again, offsetting her balance to one arm, one leg, same side, right? That's always our goal in De La Riva. One arm, one leg, same side, they have no balance, right? It's just the laws of base, right? Laws of base. There's no way you could base if you're all on the one side, you fall. Okay, so she's going to eliminate my De La Riva hook. I'm going to show you multiple ways she could accomplish this and what we're going to do to get back my De La Riva hook. Okay, and again, it's going to be the concept that I explained before. Frames. When we have as many frames as we can, what did I tell you is amazing about that? We're able to use our frames to get back the extra thing that we need, which is our offset hook, which is our weak frame, right? So we're able to fix our weakened fort by using our other frames in the fort, right? So now I'm going to explain what I mean. So I'm here. I'm in De La Riva. So before, just here. My leg is aligned with my head. I put my De La Riva hook in. I grab the collar. So before, she removed this leg, right? Grab the gi so I could just show all the feeds. So before, elbow, yeah, this one first, yep. Elbows open, right? So I go 1, here, foot on the hip, 1. Elbow is in front of my foot. Step on the floor, spider her arm, 1. Foot in front, foot on the bicep, foot on the hip. Then we got into the no gi grip series, where I went, just go palm first on the outside, thumb first here, yeah. So 1, here, here. Now the palm is in front, yep. 1, I move her grip around me. Here, here. Now, I'm going to be able to remain with my foot on the ASIS. I'm going to be in De La Riva here, and she's going to push down my leg, like so, to remove my De La Riva hook. So, I want you guys to see something here. I want you to pay attention to the angle of her elbow here. When her arm is straightened, look how I can't move my leg, right? Because I can't move. But notice how when she's straightening my arm, her shoulder comes forward and her arm to make this base all on this post of her arm. It's the same thing we learned before about posting, right? So when I'm here, what I'm going to do is this. Because her shoulder is forward, and I'm going to pay attention to where she's gripping my leg. So her palm right now is just this part of her hand, the meat of her hand, on my leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down the collar. I'm going to pull my toes up like this. So what am I doing? I'm connecting here. I just want you to look at her elbow. Look at this. So I pull down, straighten your arm, please, so they can see me bend your elbow. I just lift up my leg, and I pull down the elbow. Look at her elbow, how it opens. You see? She can't keep putting pressure on me if all she has is this part of her hand on my arm. So she's here, she's pushing down, straighten your arm though. Yeah, like this. All I'm going to do is I use the ASIS. I'm going to use pulling down the collar. I'm going to flex my foot like a De La Riva. I'm going to pull down, and I'm going to bend her, straighten your arm. I'm going to bend your elbow. Are you able to keep your arm still when you're doing this?
No, not when you're pushing up.
Because all your weight's on your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So notice what I'm doing. I'm following the same rules of posting that you learned before, right? So yes, it's the same thing as bending the elbow, but what we're doing is when her shoulder is back, her post in her hand is very powerful, right? When I move the shoulder forward, look at my elbow, look at my elbow, look at my elbow, look at my elbow. Look how all this strength in my elbow, in my arm, in my hand goes away, right? So I explained this before very well about pulling the shoulder forward. This is what's happening here. She removes my De La Riva hook, her shoulder's back. Look at my shoulder when I remove the De La Riva. When I do this, look at my elbow now. Once I do this, now because my elbow is compromised, the foot comes up and the arm bends. And when the arm bends, what happens? When the arm bends, the weight gets transferred back to this forward side, enabling me to sweep her just like previously. And again, I want you to see what's happening because first thing I need you to remember is, what did I explain about base in general? For her to remove my De La Riva hook, her weight has to be on the back leg, right? Because if her weight goes to the front leg, put all your weight on the front leg, she falls. Sorry. I didn't mean to make you.
You're good.
So keep your weight on the back leg now. Now push down my De La Riva. You see now she has balance, right? I can't move her here because her weight's on the back leg. That's very important to understand. Okay, so now she's pushing down my leg and her weight's on the back leg. And look how her arm is strong because she has her shoulder back and she has her palm here. You see, she's strong now, right? So for me to destroy the post in her arm, all I have to do is pull forward her shoulder. Once I pull forward her shoulder, she's losing all the strength in her arm. So now all I do is I bring my knee to my chest. And look what I'm going to do with my big foot. I'm going to put the side of my foot on the side of her body like this. So I'm just hooking her body like a De La Riva hook, but I'm just putting the big toe on her hip. So look at my foot. It's just on the side of her hip. You see? I'm just connecting it to the side of her hip like so. Okay, so we go back. So here, she pushes down my leg, or weight's on the back leg, right? Right. So straighten your arm though. So lay down. I just want them to see the post.
It's very hard to keep my arm straight when you start pushing.
Yes. So look, I'm in De La Riva. Look when I straighten my arm. Look, that's how I can straighten my arm. You see how my arm is completely straight? Look at my shoulder, how it's back. If I did this, look. There's no way I can take your hook strong. How can I take out the leg? And plus I'm gonna fall. So my shoulder has to go back here and I'm straightening my arm, you see? I just wanted you guys to really see how my shoulder is back when I'm doing this. Otherwise I fall. So I'm here, and I'm in De La Riva. Her shoulder is back and she's pushing out my hook. And her weight goes to the back leg, you see? Now she feels strong, her arm, because she has this back shoulder, right? So all I'm going to do now is, I'm going to pull the shoulder to me. I'm going to pull the shoulder to me. Keep your arm strong. I'm pulling the shoulder to me, and I'm going to bend her arm like this. Here. You see? So when she's here, all I do is I bring my knee to me, I bend, and I break the grip on her shoulder. I'm here. So when she's here, pushing down my leg to take out my De La Riva. Yes, now I can pull her shoulder to me. Once I do this, all I'm going to do is pull down her shoulder. I'm going to stretch my arm, and I'm going to bend her elbow. You see? Once I bend her elbow, I put the side of my foot on her arm like so. Once I do this, look how our elbow is bent already. Now I'm putting my De La Riva back in. And look how our weight's already on the front. Like, look. Now look, she's on her tippy toes. Now I pull and I push her down. You see, she's not able to keep the strength in her arm straight when I pull and I follow the rules of her arm posted. You see? And again, this is so important. And then you keep seeing me reset De La Riva like this because look how I'm resetting De La Riva. I'm just connecting the side of my body on the side of her. This side of my foot is connected to her leg like so. And it's keeping her stuck in place and keeping her in place. So try to move away from me. Like back away, like walk away. Now come into me. You see? So it's like it's not a De La Riva hook, but it's like a side hook on her body. And that's what I'm using to control her. I'm always using some sort of thing to control her. And this is how I'm controlling her right now. So I'm in De La Riva. I'm here. She takes out my De La Riva hook. She takes out my De La Riva hook, her weight's on the back leg. If it's on her front leg, she falls. So her weight goes to the back leg, right? So right now her weight's on the back leg. So what am I going to do? All I'm going to do is bring my knee to my stomach like this. My De La Riva is out, right? So I bring my knee up, I pull the shoulder to me, and now all I'm going to do is connect my side of my foot to her body, look. And look at why I'm able to do that. So her palm of her hand, as I move it down, look how my foot is able to go around her, right? If her palm was like this, which we're going to learn after, it would be a little harder, right? Because she has her elbow involved. Wait, doesn't this sound familiar as before when she's holding my ankle here and her elbow's involved? Close your elbow. See, doesn't it seem familiar as before? Then once I went here, I was clear. So it's literally the same concept that you're going to learn, but it's just the opposite side. But for now, her palm is like this. So I'm here. She's pushing down my leg. All I do is I pull and I put pressure on this part of her wrist up. And I pull the shoulders to me to bend her arm. Putting the side of my foot on her body. Now look how her elbow is bent. Now when I put it back, look, as she's keeping her arm here, look how her weight's going to the front leg again. Now look, false. You can't keep your arm there straight, right? And the more she tries, the more her weight gets off balance, offset. And I feel like she was trying so hard to keep this that she's falling now. So when we're here, and I have De La Riva, she's pushing down. Her shoulder's going back to keep a strong post. So she can remove my De La Riva here, you see? Now once she removes it, I pull forward to bring her shoulder forward. Not her back of her shoulder, just her shoulder forward. Now I bring my foot up to bend her arm, you see? You see? Now once I get here, I bend the leg, I put pressure forward, I bring my knees to my chest, and I punch her down. You see? I'm able to move her body because I'm doing it like this. You see? So let me change sides. This way. I'm here. De La Riva. I get to this spot here. She's pushing down my leg. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the shoulder. I'm going to pull the ASIS. I'm going to pull the shoulder. You see how her base is already off? You see? So all I do is I pull here, I pull here. Now all I'm going to do is bring her to me and connect my foot to the side of her body. Look. So I bring my knee to my chest, one. So she's pushing down my leg. I disconnect like this. Up, here. So again, push down. Up. I bring it to the side, up, here. Look how our elbow bends. Once her elbow bends, I connect the De La Riva again. But her elbow is bent now. So what does that mean with her post? She falls. You see? So come back. I just want you guys to learn how I'm manipulating every grip she has to affect it, because it's all posts on the floor. It's identical to a post on the floor, you see? It's just different angles of her hand that we're manipulating, but they all are the same concept. And that is why application everywhere will be so easy once you understand these concepts of manipulating their wrists, right? So she's pushing down my leg here. Again, if her weight's all on the front leg and she pushes down, she's going to fall. You see, every time she does that, she has to fall. So she has to put her weight on the back leg to push down my hook here, right? That's the only way she can. And another thing I want you guys to see, if I made my hip this way and I try to do this, there's no way. Look, how can I do this? But when I face my head, the same line as her shoulder, like this. Now look what I can do. You see why I'm able to do it now? Because the angle of my head is parallel, is the same line. It's exactly square with her shoulder. So I'm able to bring my foot up. But if I'm on the side of my hip, how can I bring my leg up right now? I could go here, but look how weak my knee is. So I have to make sure when she takes out my hook that I square up with her. And now look. Now I keep my hook out. Now I pull and bend her elbow. Now I get here. You see? So every time she removes my hook, look, I have to square my head with her shoulder, like so. Now I pull down her shoulder to me. I pull it to me. As I pull it to me, I'm pushing the ASIS a little bit. Now look how I can bend her arm. Once I bend the elbow, I'm going to place my foot back in, pull her to me, and then stretch her down. You see? It's so simple yet so complicated. It's not complicated. It's just it's mastery of positioning of your body. But it stays with the same simple rule I said before.
So simple yet so effective.
Yeah, because my head stays aligned with her shoulder, which is a rule I explained before, right? My head has to stay aligned with her shoulder. So if I'm following the rules I said before, this is simple. But it's complicated because if you're not focused on where your head is, you'll be like, wow, her arm feels so strong. Her arm feels strong, but it's just because you're positionally wrong. And positioning is so important in jiu-jitsu for that reason. If you're positionally wrong, it's going to affect your moves that you're doing, right? Because I'm on the wrong hip. I'm literally on the wrong hip right now. How am I going to be strong like this? But when I'm square, I'm just bringing my knees to my chest. Now look how easy this is to do, right? So let's go again. I'm here. I get De La Riva. She pushes my head aligned with her shoulder. She pushes down my hook. We're here. All I'm going to do is, I can't put my De La Riva hook back in, right? I just bring my knee to my chest. One, I walk my foot up. Two. So again, one, and what I can do here, look, notice what I'm doing. So when you take out my hook, I bring my knee to my chest, and I put the side of my foot on the side of her body. You see? I pull her shoulder to me and I walk my foot up. Now I go back to De La Riva. And look how her arm is already bent. Look. Now look, I'm gonna watch her pinky toes. Look at her tippy toes. Look at her tippy toes. That means I can sweep her. Boom. You see? Her tippy toes fell on the floor. That's why I can sweep her. So other side. So you guys are noticing, even though her weight was on the back leg, I brought her weight back to the front leg. Why is that? Because I manipulated her frame. One of her frames in her arms. For her to keep it, her weight goes forward as when I start bending it. So that's another flaw in this base that she's doing. Lay down. Every time we're here, and she has this base and she puts her weight on the back leg, and I pull and she bends my elbow, I cannot keep my weight on the front leg, on the back leg. You see that? So when she's using this and she gets me here, my arm's straight, great. The second my arm bends, I can't keep my weight back. You see, there's no way I can keep my weight on the back leg. So that is a flaw in this base, you see, is when I'm here and she bends my elbow by her leg coming up, her leg going to the side and back in, now go De La Riva, my weight goes to the front leg. I have to because my elbow is bent and my shoulder is forward. You see what you see? So that's so important to understand that in this scenario. So I'm here. Her arm is straight, right? That means her weight's on the back leg. So keep your weight on the back leg and straighten your arm. You see? The second I bend her arm, where's your weight right now?
This way?
No, now it's leaning.
This arm, yeah, this arm.
How could your weight be on the back leg right now?
You're right, sorry.
You see, because look, if your weight was on the back leg, I wouldn't be able to move you over.
I did feel a transfer of weight, but I felt...
So she pushes down my leg. You see, right now her weight's on the back leg. Look.
Oh, okay, that's where the back...
You see, so when she straightens her arm, I bend, and now once I bend her elbow, where's your weight right now?
Oh, now it's going this way.
Yeah, because every time your arm bends, your shoulder comes forward, and now your weight is all here. Now I put the hook in, and I sweep her. You see? So it's understanding how if her arm bent, it has to go to the back leg. If her arm is not bent, straighten your arm. See, I'm going to try to sweep her this way. Keep your weight on the back leg. Yep, I can't sweep her this way. Look. There's no way because all her weight's on the back leg. But the second I do this, her weight transfers, you see. So now we're learning how to work on the person's arms to manipulate their frames and their fort to our advantage, to bring it back to our rules of balance. And our rules of balance, remember, bring their weight all to one side, they fall. They shall fall. Okay, so come back up. We're here. She pushes down my leg. Her arm is straight. Means her weight's on the back leg. She's strong, right? All I do is I connect my foot at the side, I move my foot up, and I pull her shoulder down. You see, if she kept her weight on the back leg right now, look what's going to happen. You see, she cannot stay balanced. The only way she can stay balanced is when she has to put her weight forward. Now she puts her weight forward, look, she falls. You see, so we're just playing with her base side to side, and that's what I'm always doing in De La Riva. I never force one thing or the other. I'm always going back and forth. So here, again, most important thing I need you guys to know, my head aligned with her shoulder. That is why my hip could do this. And another most important thing I want you to know, if she's pushing down my leg strong, we always bring our knee to our chest. That is the rules of thumb, right? Because now I can walk. So she's putting pressure on me. I'm here. I'm in De La Riva. Put your weight on your back leg, please. Yep. So you're here. I bring my knee to my chest. Once I bring my knee to chest, I walk my foot up. Look at her elbow being bent now. I go De La Riva, I pull, I stretch her. Back up. So this is a very good drill for you guys to even do, just even starting here. Have her straighten her arm, and me doing this. Knee to chest, 1. Walk up, 2, bend. Sweep. Let me change angles. Just pushing down my leg. Knee to chest. 1. Sweep. So she's pushing down my leg. So I angle myself, align with her shoulder. You see, I'm here, I'm not going to be strong. So I angle myself, align with shoulder. Knee to chest. Bend. 1. Side of my foot on her hip. I'm hooking my foot on the side of her hip. Look. Now I connect. I sweep. Okay? And what are we doing? We're disrupting the base from her back leg, bringing it back to the front leg by destroying her post. And that is what we're doing always when the person has the Toriano grips. We're disrupting their post on our body because it's the same as posting their arms like this. And we're learning that when they bring their shoulder forward, and then we pull forward, and then we push, their elbow collapses every time. But now we're also learning that when they're grabbing with their fingers, we're able to disrupt their strength in their grips by angling our body on a certain part of their hands, which give us the option to bring our leg up, to circle around their upper body. Okay, so we're here. Here she's pushing down my leg. You see? So now all I do is this. I bend her shoulder. I bring my foot up. I hook my foot on her body. Like this. One. Now you see, why am I able to do this? Because her palm is this way on me. If her palm was over here, how can I connect my foot to her body? You see? That is why I'm able to get up, because it's the angle of her hand. So it's not only what we just learned, it's angling of the person's hand. You see? That is what's helping us here. It's their base of the posting concept plus the angle of their hand. That's what enables us to do this. So she's here, she's pushing down. I pull, I bring my knee to her body because I want the angle of her hand to be like this much angle as possible. Because the more it's open, look at her elbow, look at her elbow, look at her elbow. The more it's closed, look at her elbow, look at her elbow. You see the difference? So I want the angle as much as possible. So she goes De La Riva on me. Just go normal now. Yeah, De La Riva on me. I bring my knee to her stomach. I go here. Look at her elbow. Look at her elbow. Now it's open. I connect the foot. I pull her to me. I stretch her down. This is all we're doing every time. So I'm just going to do it fast now. So let me just go here. Foot on the shoulder. This is what's going to teach you to line yourself up correctly. Take out my De La Riva, please. Weight on the back leg. Yes. I bring my knee to my stomach. And I go square. Up. Bend her elbow. Again. Here. See? So the person on top has to pay attention to the grips they're working. We're going to keep doing this, and you're going to practice circling your leg up, putting back into De La Riva, and sweeping. This is a part of the weight on the back leg. And this is the first lesson you're learning how to bring their weight from the back leg back to the front leg because they're in the posting world, okay? So I want you guys to work this now. We're focusing on the concept of posting, which I explained previously in this series, over and over, right? But not only are we focusing on posting, we're focusing on hand positioning, right? So what we were able to accomplish when my opponent was pushing down the De La Riva was I was able to angle myself where her only angle of pushing down was this palm of her palm, which means I was able to manipulate it where I was able to come back up, bend her elbow, and sweep it, right? This time what's going to happen is she's going to bring the meat of her hand more on my palm. Wait, doesn't it sound familiar? Remember when she was doing the no-gi grip on this side? So lay down. Remember when she was doing the grip on this side of my leg? She got the meat of her hand on this side of my leg, which made it way harder for me to come back in, right? So now when she's here and we eliminate the leg, this part of my palm is going to be on the leg. You see? It's no longer just this. It's this. You see? So that is why our approach is going to have to be altered. And like I said, we're just going to have to change the angle of her hand placement on my leg to alter it where the angle is changed so my foot could be positioned again on the side and go back to De La Riva. Okay? And these concepts are going to keep overlapping. But I'm doing it like I am because you're going to start seeing that. Like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And that's how all jiu-jitsu is. It doesn't matter the position we're talking about. It's all going to overlap. And that's why this is so useful when you're learning De La Riva for everything you do. Not even just De La Riva. All the positions you learn in guard, these concepts will apply and help you in future times, right? So what we're going to learn now is when, like I said, the meat of my opponent's hand is going to be extrally on my leg in a way that now I'm not going to be able to just angle my foot and come up. So I'm going to give you a new concept of how to alter my opponent's hand placement on my leg to bring it back And then when I bring it back, the laws of balance are going to be applied. Her weight's going to alter from that back leg, which she needs to be on to remove my De La Riva hook, back to the front leg because her elbow bends. We're bringing her forward, elbow bending, the posting laws and rules. We're going to bring her forward, sweep her to the side. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to be in De La Riva. Again, what's the most important thing when I'm doing De La Riva? The angle. Oh.
The angle has to be, your shoulder has to be in line with my shoulder so your foot is in line.
Correct. So, wait, come down a little bit. So how I know this, my foot is on her shoulder. My head is aligned with my foot. That means I'm correct to play De La Riva. My foot is on the ASIS, right? I'm grabbing the collarbone, and my ankle grip is here. She's pushing down my leg, and she puts her weight on the back leg, right? So notice how her arm is straightened, right? But this time, her palm is more inside my leg here, you see? So now, how the heck could I go here and bring my leg back? There's no way. It's too strong, right? So because it's too strong, what does that mean? That means her shoulder's forward again. And so instead of forcing my leg up, she's pushing my leg down. I'm going to use the bottom part of my leg again to manipulate her grip. How am I going to do that? I'm going to place my foot on the floor here. When I place my foot on the floor, I'm going to put my knee on her forearm like so. When I put my knee on the forearm, I'm going to put pressure on her wrist like so. Like this. Like this. Like this. Now I'm going to come back with my foot up. Wait. Don't change your thumb. Don't change your thumb. Even if you change your thumb, it doesn't matter. But I just want them to see where your hand is now.
Oh, okay.
You see? I felt like you were covering it a little bit. But look where her grip is now. Look where it's back. It's back to where it was before. Remember when she pushed out my hook and I was here? So when she pushes down my leg and she gets the meat of her hand in, the rule is we step on the floor and we angle ourselves back like this. And are you able to keep your grip right now?
I can't keep my grip.
Yeah, you see? So when I do this, now look what I can do. I can put pressure on her knee. I can put pressure forward. Now look how my foot comes back up to the side of her body. Once my foot goes to the side of her body, we're back to the same spot as before. Where I put the De La Riva in, I bend her shoulder, her arm is already bent. What does that mean? I could bring her weight to the front. I bring her forward, she's on her tippy toes. What does that mean?
You can sweep me.
I can sweep her. Pack your bags, war's over. So again, let's change sides.
Yeah, it's hard to keep that grip when you do it because it makes it go like around. It's very hard to keep it.
Here we go to this side. And I'm making there no questions when we're doing this. There's no questions or doubts because we know every specific spot that they could grab us. We know every specific palm placement. So there really is nothing that we need to think about in these spots once we know every single possibility that they could give us, right? Because there's only a limited amount, which you're seeing. That's why I group them in worlds and families, right? Because there's only a limited amount. So every time we're here, it's either she has her palm like this initially, which I could go here, bend her elbow, and go back. Or she brings the meat of her arm in, which is a superior grip, obviously, right? Because now she has more volume protecting her from bringing my leg back. So it feels way stronger right now. Like, how can I bring my leg back? It feels way stronger. So all I do is, when I feel this is too strong, I put my foot to the floor. I put the side of my knee to her side of her body. And now, I just want them to see this. I think this is very important. So when I'm here, and she's pushing down, when I bring the side of my knee to her body, I connect my knee to the side of her body like this. So now when I come back, look how her hand moves. You see how your hand is moving? So when your hand is here, and I step on the floor, I just want them to see this. When your hand moves, and I step on the floor, and I bring so your hand is like this. You have the full knee. I step on the floor, and I bring the side of my knee here. Look how it moves down the line of her hand. Look. So when I'm here, it moves down the line of her hand. Back to this. Which is just this part of her hand on my leg. You see? Once this part of her hand is on my leg, look how my leg comes up. And now I can go De La Riva. But when it's here, how can I come up? You see, she has all this volume of her hand blocking my shin for me to go De La Riva. So when I step, and I bring my knee in, I'm able to put pressure on her wrist to angle it, and now I'm back to here. That's what I'm doing here, guys. You see, this is how I'm doing it. So let's go back to this side. I'm here in De La Riva. I'm here. She's trying to put pressure. I cannot go here. I just step. But when I step, I'm doing something particular. Just bring your hand back to the spot. When I step, I'm doing something particular. I'm bringing my knee to her knee at the same time as I step. Like this. Stepping on the floor, putting pressure on my heel down. So I can put pressure on her knee. You see? So all her weight's back right now. She's going to have to bring her weight back forward because she's uncomfortable there, you see? So look what I'm doing. So put pressure again. I go 1, knee to knee pressure, like this. I go leg back to her leg. Now I go back to De La Riva, pulling her shoulder to me, stretching her down. You see? I'm doing this motion over and over in De La Riva. And this is what stops her strength in her hand from putting any pressure on my leg. So as you see, we're really just like killing every grip she can make on my leg. So let's go back to the other side. I'm here. Yeah, this is a good angle. So I'm here. She's pushing down my leg. The volume of her hand is over my shin. So I angle myself with her shoulder. I need to be facing her shoulder, guys. It's so important. My head, the same line as her shoulder. Again, if I'm like this and she gets her palm like this, how the heck am I going to even step on the floor? Look, there's no way. Look. So I have to be facing her shoulder. Look, like so. Now she's pushing down. I can step on the floor and put my knee to her knee. And then when I put her knee to her knee, look how I'm going to circle around her. So I go here. Look how I bring my knee on her forearm. Once I do this, look how she has nothing on my leg anymore. So she pushes down. I step on the floor, bringing my knee to her wrist. Once I do this, I put pressure. And now my leg comes up. Could you keep my leg down right now?
No.
Once I get the side foot on her body, look. The side foot on her body's in. I go back to De La Riva. Now she's straightening her arm again. Okay, we're going to bend her shoulder. She's on her tippy toes. Re-sweep her. Okay, so this is how we're doing this over and over. Posting world. Arm is back, right? Shoulder is back. We bring the shoulder forward. Once the shoulder is forward, the weight from the palm goes away from the palm, right? Now it's on the elbow. Because it's on the elbow, we can bend the arm. Hand world. The volume of your hand, the angling of your hand is in a spot. If it's in too much in a spot, we go down. And look when we go down how we're able to manipulate the angle of the hand back to this. And once the angle of the hand is compromised, the angle of my elbow is compromised. Taking away the chance of me to keep the leg in. Because what's happening when she gets the palm in like this? Could you bend your elbow a second, please? Just so they see this. Look, this is why she has strength right now. Look at her elbow in this spot. Look how she's using her elbow. She has more power in her whole arm because she has more volume on her leg and her elbow is involved. When I do this, do you have your elbow any more in this?
No.
You lose your elbow involved, right? It's just your shoulder now. That is what's happening when I'm doing this. She's losing the connection of her elbow in the post. So that is how I'm doing it. And just come here. Don't even grab my leg this time. I just want, just lean with your shoulders. Don't grab your leg. Don't grab my leg. So here. When I do this with the pressure on my knee, what I'm doing is I'm putting pressure on the side of her knee and down like this. So you feel like it's like a knee bar almost, right?
It is kind of like a knee bar.
Right? So when I put this pressure on her knee, it makes all her base, because her weight's on the back leg, right? When I do this, I'm putting more weight on the back leg on her, you see, and it's making her very uncomfortable because how is she able to put pressure on me right now? You feel like it's awkward to come forward, right?
No, I can't come forward at all.
And now I go to the side.
It's keeping me in place.
You see, now when I go to the side, I have this pressure here, and the side of my leg is putting pressure already on the De La Riva. Now I put it back in, you see. Now once it's back in, I'm back into the all-out attack. So again, I'm here. I have here she's pushing down. The volume of her hand is on my leg. I step on the floor. And you see, when I step on the floor, this part of my knee presses into her wrist. So I'm here. This side of my knee presses into her wrist like this. I put pressure on her knee now. I put the pressure in the side of my knee like I'm playing De La Riva. Now I put my foot up. Once my foot goes up, I have the side foot. We're back to where we were before. De La Riva in. Now she's here. Her arm is straight, right? Posting roll. Her arm is straight. What does that mean? All I have to do is pull the shoulder forward. Again, once I pull the shoulder forward, she loses pressure in her hand because now there's pressure in her elbow. Now I can bend her arm. Pull her forward to me, knees to chest. Stretch, sweep. You see, it's as simple as that. Again, before knowing this concept, what would you try to do that? You'd be kicking, you'd be forcing, you'd be doing so much strength. De La Riva is so hard, you have to use so much strength. I feel so weak here because you're not focused on the posting. You're not focused on the angle of their hand.
That is why the angle of the opponent's hand is so important in evaluating your course of action for Daliva. Knowing where their weight is on their body is so important.
So come back up and put your palm in. If I didn't know her weight was on the back leg, I would try to sweep her here. Look.
You see, there's no way. That is why it's so important. I know her weight's on the back leg. And that is why I straighten my body and I put pressure with my knee on the back leg.
Look, I'm putting all her weight on the back leg where it is. Are you trying to balance with no hands? Look, now I put pressure on her. My leg comes up, I go De La Riva. Now I bend her arm. Look, here, now her elbow's posted, right? Her weight's on her elbow, right? Now I bring my knees to my chest. Now I can sweep her down. You see, every time it's like this. So let's change sides. This way. Over here. Like De La Riva. Her weight's on the back leg, which means she's able to get out my De La Riva hook. Look, I don't have my De La Riva hook in. All I'm going to do is make sure my head is aligned with her shoulder. I step on the floor. I use my knee on her forearm like so. Once I do this, I bring my leg up. Once the leg is up, I put pressure. I bring the hook back in. Once the hook's back in, you see her elbow's already bent. So I bend, I bring my knees to my chest, I pull forward. Her weight's on her tippy toe now. I punch her down. You see? So the angle of the hand is a little different on this one. It's using this part of the hand to get to here. Before, it was the thumb. So lay down. Before, the angle of the hand was like this. And we were circling to get around the thumb, right? For this one, now the angle of the hand is like this, here. And we're working to not get around the thumb. We're working to get around this part of the hand. You see? So that is why we're doing it how we're doing it. We're focused on this part, the meat of my hand. Okay? That is what we're doing here. Lay down. You can stand up, please. So again, here. So wrist angle is so important. I angle my head the same line as the shoulder. I step on the floor. Here, I put pressure on her leg with my hip, like so. Once we do this, I bring my leg up. Again, when I bring my leg up, if I didn't, keep your hand down. You see, I can try to go De La Riva, but look how it's weak. When I bring my leg up, look how I'm able to bend her elbow more.
That is why I have the side foot on her. I'm able to bend her elbow more here.
And the more I bend her elbow, look how I can even make her post here, you see? So she has to put some weight to angle herself to fix her balance when I pull. Now I get De La Riva again. She's pushing again. Look. Now all I do is this. 1. Bend, sweep. You see? I need you guys to really understand this hand angle. This is going to make your life so much easier when you're playing De La Riva. You see? This is a no-gi grip again on my leg because no-gi grips are directly on you. So once it's directly on you, it's about hand angles. It isn't about moving around the material. So stand up. This time, just make a grip on my knee and push that. Yeah, like this. So if this was the case, look how like it would be way easier, right? If let's say I lost it and you bring your elbow in a little bit. Yeah. You see?
Are you pushing my hand into my knee like to break the grip? Because I feel like it's breaking my grip.
I'm putting my knee into your forearm like this.
Because it breaks my grip. There's no way I can hold it anymore.
Yeah, so bring your elbow in again. You see how it's the same thing as before now when she's holding the gi? Look. So all I do is this. Here, I break the grip, my foot comes up, and now I end up here. But now she's here with, now she's just here with her palm. It's the same thing when she's here with her palm, right? I'm here, I bring my leg up, De La Riva. She brings her whole hand in. I use my knee on her palm to push her palm up. And as I do this, you see how her elbow comes up. You see, now when I come back, I have a super strong De La Riva hook here. That is why when I bend, I can sweep her. The other side. And here. I step, I put pressure on her elbow to bend her elbow, angling her hand off of my body. Once I do this, I bring my leg up. Once my leg comes up, I get the De La Riva. I bend her leg, I stretch her. So the drill will be like this. You're up here, I'm here. 1. Her hand is completely in. Her hand is completely in. If I feel like I'm off angle, let me show them what I do if I'm off angle because I keep saying to be angled to the shoulder. If I'm off angle, what do I need to do? If I'm off angle, what do I need to do? I'm like this. I have to angle myself back. I use my frames to angle myself back. So I push, I angle, keep pressuring on my leg, please. I angle myself back. Look, I just do a small hip escape.
That's how I get my hip back correctly. Because if I stay on the side,
it's gonna be very hard for me to bring my leg, right? But as I use my foot, I step on her body, I step on the collar, I use my hand here, and I hip escape. So like this.
that's how I can adjust myself if I feel like I'm stuck in this spot.
So if I'm pressing and I feel stuck, like, oh my God, I'm on the wrong hip, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I can push off of this to angle myself back square.
That is how I'm angling myself back square.
Then I can step and I put pressure here. Now my foot comes up. Now I can go De La Riva. So she presses, I step. Here, De La Riva. She presses, I'm off angle, right? All I'm gonna do is I push, I angle myself. You see, I use my hands to walk. So I use my foot here and my hands to keep myself back. So like this.
I'm just doing this motion, guys. So if you're confused how to hip escape your angles, I'm just doing this and moving my hips here. Just a simple hip escape. I think this could also be a good practice for you to do when you're drilling this, just to practice getting your hip back into spot, right?
So if I'm here, angling myself back into the spot. So come back. So here, I'm out of space, right? I'm out of place. Here. Here. And I use my hands to help me. Now I'm here, right? I can't get my foot back, right? One. Here. Here. One. Here. 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 One. Here. Here. I push down her wrist, elbow bent. Here.
You see, this is what we're doing over and over.
I'm angling my hip. She's putting pressure. I'm angling my hip back. I'm pressing down on her elbow, bending, connecting. Here. The drill will be like this. One. Elbow. Here. Here. One. Hip. Elbow. Here. Here. Bend her elbow. Push it in. Now let me show the other angle.
How I retain my guard back into place is so important.
So basic, but like I said, all the basic parts of jiu-jitsu come together in every spot, right? So my hook is in the wrong spot, right? One. Step, press, hip, De La Riva. Bend her shoulder, sweep. You see, we're doing this over and over. She presses, hip, knee, foot on the hip, De La Riva. Bend the shoulder, sweep her down. I'm constantly connecting my hips correctly. And I'm constantly paying attention to my hips correctly.
Because it goes back to my discussion of body positioning. How if my body positioning is off just a little bit, I won't be able to utilize the correct position. And it'll feel wrong because I'm not correctly placed. And for that reason, when you're studying these positions, when you're drilling, you're not trying to mimic, you're trying to perfect your body positioning. Because when your body positioning is correct, you'll know what to do correctly. That is what we're doing here, guys. And that is what I need you to focus on. I want you to focus now on the hip angle of the hand, the person drilling on top. Make sure that you're putting your weight on the back leg, you're pushing down for your person, and then you're getting your hand on their leg like this. So then they're getting the perfect reaction. So then they can do this. Because if you just put this part of the hand, you don't have to do the second one. You can just put the foot up, De La Riva. But then if it's completely there, then you use the knee on the floor to push, get back to De La Riva, okay? So I want you guys to work this now, and then we're going to move on to the next position. Let's